The big boys are back in the upstate as Universal Championship Wrestling presents Parade of Champions, Friday, November 22nd at the Anderson Sports and Entertainment Center. You'll see Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner, the Universal Champion Carlito of WWE, the King of Swing Johnny Swinger, Buff the Stuff Bagwell, the legendary Barbarian, Caleb Conley of Impact Wrestling, Ladies Action, and much, much more. Get your tickets today at the Civic Center or go to ucwtv.com for Parade of Champions, November 22nd, Anderson Sports and Entertainment Center. You're listening to Electric City Broadcasting. This is Sam in here with Super Dave. We have a big event coming to the Anderson area at the Anderson Sports and Entertainment Center, Universal Championship Wrestling Parade of Champions, and that's going to happen on this coming Friday, November 22nd. We've got a special guest on the phone, and Dave, I'll let you introduce him.
We have a legend on the phone today, one of the baddest, toughest professional wrestlers that I've ever watched. So, Mr. Scott Steiner.
How you doing today, Scott?
Good. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Doing good.
Doing great. Hey, I remember watching you. The first time I watched you on way back in the late 80s, early 90s, I remember watching you on WCW with your brother.
Oh, yeah. Well, we did a lot of TV tapings in Anderson Civic Center. I remember that venue, Bill. It brings back a lot of good memories.
You know, it brings back a lot of memories for me, even talking to you. Sitting around the television with my brothers, and it was always a great thing to watch WCW.
Oh yeah, we had a good time. I always try to be entertaining. Like the one time I do particularly remember wrestling at Anderson Civic Center was when I was walking out with my dog Arnold. Mm-hmm. Now, he was a dog I've had since college, you know.
Yeah. And
it was a pit bull. And of course, everybody was, had the stories about pit bulls, so they were kind of afraid of them, you know. And we were wrestling Bob Eaton. And I think it was Arn Anderson. And as soon as we come in the ring, Arnold jump in the ring and run around and everybody jump out. Well, this particular time, Bobby, for whatever reason, I don't know what he was thinking, he jumped up to the top rope. As he was standing on the top rope. Arnold jumped up, leaped, grabbed the rope and his foot, and he couldn't move.
Talk about outside interference. Oh, man, that's funny.
Yeah, but that actually happened at Anderson Civic Center.
I think this area has had a whole lot of wrestling come through the years.
Greenville Memorial Auditorium, I'm sure you remember that venue.
Oh, yeah.
God rest its soul.
Yeah.
And you've had quite a transformation since those days with the Steiner brothers and becoming Big Papa Pump. And it's been interesting to watch that transition, but you've always been what I would think is a great, great wrestler and a great entertainer.
That upset a lot of people when I, turned on my brother and, became a bad guy. But it was at the time where I think it was like at a stage of my career where I needed it, we needed to change. All the tag teams that had met anything, we wrestled them. People ask me, like, why such a change? Well, it's like it was a do-or-die situation. If I didn't totally go drastically the other way from the Steiner brothers, I don't think people would have gave as much or cared as much. So I totally flipped the switch and totally went 180 degrees the other way, and it worked out perfect because really started to hate me,
Well, and you took the ball and ran with it, several World Heavyweight Championship runs, and I think that character took a life of his own, and I think a lot of people respect it and a lot of people like it.
Yeah, I was actually making changes week to week when I first did it because you never know what the people wanted to see or what they would react. I first came out just Scott Steiner, but as things progressed, that's when I came out with the name Big Papa Pump. And then of course, things just keep on adding, like Big Bad Booty Daddy and Freakzilla, and people, the more I did. It worked out good.
Well, that's the name of the game. The more heat, the better off you are, right? So.
Yeah. People either want to cheer you or boo you, and I definitely tried to get booed, and actually it ended up I like being booed more than I like being cheered.
What would you say the feel of UCW is now? I know I was talking to Ron Gossett last week, and he said the feel of UCW is almost like what WCW was back in the day. Yeah,
there's a lot of big stars that are coming in. Ronnie brings in a bunch of different talent from people that have wrestled in different territories before. Carlito's going to be there, Buff's going to be there, a bunch of other people are going to be there, and it's definitely an entertaining show.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to it and looking forward to you being there, and I'm sure all the fans will be happy to see you again, and we will see you Friday and be looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait. It was in South Carolina, especially Anderson. That was always a good wrestling town, and And it's always good to have a meet and greet where people come up and tell you, what they liked or they didn't like, but mostly what they liked throughout your career. And it's good to reminisce with the fans.
Yep, it is. We look forward to seeing you on Friday night.
All right. Thanks very much.
Thank you for your time. That was Scott Steiner. And he's going to be at the Anderson Civic Center with Universal Championship Wrestling Parade of Champions coming up on Friday. And if you want to get your tickets, you can get them at ucwtv.com, or you can go get them at the Anderson Sports and Entertainment Center. The big boys are back in the upstate as Universal Championship Wrestling presents Parade of Champions, Friday, November 22nd at the Anderson Sports and Entertainment Center. You'll see Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner, the Universal Champion Carlito of WWE, the King of Swing Johnny Swinger, Buff the Stuff Bagwell, the legendary Barbarian, Caleb Conley of Impact Wrestling, Ladies Action, and much, much more. Get your tickets today at the Civic Center or go to ucwtv.com for Parade of Champions, November 22nd, Anderson Sports and Entertainment Center.